Hello and welcome back to Colour Multimedia Enterprises. My name is Luke and I'm going to be continuing with the StoryDev editor tutorial. Now, in the last episode we went over the formatting of links, we went over the formatting of the background colour, passage colour and all sorts of stuff like that. In this episode what I'm going to be showing you is the ability to show images in both the background and the character image, and I'm also going to show you a bit about using the trans passage and trans car image functions. So I'm going to rename this to images to start with, and there's very simple functions when it comes to showing images. So what I'm going to do is show, and it's show car image. This takes one argument, well, two technically speaking, but I'm just going to do one for now, and I'm going to do car0.png. Oops, and that'll show the character image. So let's save that and a test game. It should work. Okay, so as you can see, it's the same as last time. Click here to continue, and there's no such thing as okay, then we didn't actually need to use the PNG, so let's save that again and test game. Continue. Okay, so there you go. So don't use the .png file, and that's of course appearing with the character image that's within the engine at the moment. What we can also do is actually transfer this over to, let's say, the opposite side of the passage. Firstly, what I'm going to do is show BG image, and I'm going to put just BG0 here. I believe it's BG0. Let's do that. Okay, click here to continue, and as you can see, the background image has changed. So our character image is now being displayed, and so is the background. What if we wanted to actually transfer that over? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use two different functions. I'm going to do trans car image, and this takes 5 arguments. So the first two is the X and Y of the character image. Now if we test game again, I would have to omit it actually. Oh, okay, it's still working. So we basically want the X and Y axis to be at this point over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do stage width, and then I'm going to multiply that by 0.7. So basically the X axis is going to be at 70% of the stage width, and on the y-axis I'm going to put it at stage height multiplied by 0.1. The size is going to be stage width multiplied by 0.2, and I'm going to do height is going to multiply by 0.9. So let's try that. Oh, sorry, there's actually one more argument or parameter, and that's the amount of time it takes to get from the previous side. So I'm just going to put 1 there for 1 second. So I'm going to test game. I'm going to do that, and it's not actually working. Okay, interesting. Unless I've got it the other way round. Let's have a look. There's transparent passage and car image somewhere. So as you can see, there's 40, 50, 400, 300. Oh, yes, of course. So I do actually need to put true here. And the reason why is because if we don't put true here, then, for example, if I were to do trans passage, it won't work. And also, I need to actually put that after the car image, otherwise it won't. Because we're not actually showing the car image yet. It thinks that we're moving it, even though it isn't actually being displayed yet. So you put that there. Continue. Okay. So as you can see, it's been put over there. Oops. But we've got a problem. The background image isn't actually being shown. Why is that? Why is that? Okay, so first of all, I'm actually going to tweak some of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put stage width times 0.1 there instead. And X and Y, that's pretty much fine. And I'm just going to put that to 0.8 as well instead. What if I were to change it to 3 seconds? It'll take 3 seconds for it to move over to its locations. If we were 1, 2, 3. There you go. Doesn't look like it's right in the right position, so I'm going to put 0.8 here instead and see how it works. Okay, I'm going to do 2 seconds instead, and this is pretty much what it's all about. It's just tweaking it until you get the right size and location, until you're happy with it. Okay, so now we need to deal with this show background image and why it's not working. So I'm going to go back over here because I haven't actually so as you can see, you've got show background image, and clearly this stuff isn't actually what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the wiki hasn't actually been updated, so I actually need to update that. So yeah, the background image isn't being displayed, which actually confuses me, if I may be honest. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely convinced as to why it's doing that. So if we test game once again, it's pretty much the same as what we were doing just now, and it's not showing the background image for some reason. Huh. Oh, if we were to do it first, it might work this time. Yes. Okay, so the order clearly counts. So if we show the BG image first, then show the character image, then we won't have that problem. So we do the character image last, and I'll all be updated. Okay, so now we can do something like trans passage, and I'm doing it first because that actually interferes with the character image. We've got true here, and the reason we put true there is so that when we do the trans passage function, the new location and size that we put for our passage isn't defaulted back to its original size and location, which is the reason why we put true there. So if we do stage width, so this is x-axis, and I'm going to do times 0.05. and the same here. In fact, 0.1 to make it align with the character image, and height again times 0.1. That will align with the character image. And what I'm going to do with the passage is make its width so that it works with the character image. So I'm going to put 0.8 here, and stage height times 0.8, so it's the same. And I'm going to put 2 seconds delay there, so it takes 2 seconds to transfer. So I'm going to save that and test. Continue. As you can see, it's been centered. Okay, interesting. We want to move it over here, so maybe it's not best that we do that. So instead, what I am going to do is 30, let's say 30, and 30 here. Of course, alternatively, what we can do is x-axis is equal to stage width times 0.1, then y-axis is equal to stage height, and why do I keep doing that? Times 0.1, and we can then use that to put it here. So x-axis and y-axis. We need to make sure that the case is exactly the same throughout, otherwise it won't work. And the width and the height, that's pretty much how we want it. Although I'm not 100% convinced I should put it like that, so I'm just going to put that there. Okay, so I shall test this. It can make a difference to put variables here instead, but it might not. Whoops, that's not test game. What am I doing? Yeah, so it kind of does make a difference. Of course, now that doesn't look right. But I think let's make it 0.85 again. Oops. Test game. Should work how we want it. Almost. Okay, so I'm going to put 0.7 here. As I say, it's pretty much just being able to get it all to the way you want it, and then I'm just going to modify that slightly. So let's do 8.5 instead. Test game. Yeah, okay. So, this is a tutorial on how to transfer and manipulate the location and size of the passages and of course the character image, as well as of course showing these images. Again, make sure that the ordering is correct. Make sure that you do trans passage first, show background image, show character image, and then trans character image. Make sure you show the character image first, because trans character image will try to reference something that's actually null, and you don't want to do that. Okay, once again, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you next time.